Please keep in mind that what we're here to deal with this week is simply this: the Commonwealth versus Travis Orten. It's not the Commonwealth versus William Miles or Michael Forrester or Jacob Orten or Kendra Lee. While each of them may have had some role in this, and you may not like any of them. You may not like any of the things that went on the night of July 3rd last year or into the morning of July the 4th. But what we're here about is what happened that ended all of that. That ended in 2 tragic deaths, 2 other people injured, and all of it was unnecessary. Now, to start the night off with, you will hear testimony about, on the evening of July the 3rd, Mr. Orten sent his friend Curtis Killebrew to pick up a girl, Brandy Cooper. Brandy was brought back to Travis's home, where she will testify about their use of, or at least his use, I believe both of them were using methamphetamine. She was being paid to come there, and you heard mention of that, I believe, already in jury selection. So, already, the information that you're going to get at the very beginning of this is probably not information that you're going to be pleased about, but that's not what we're here to ask you to make a decision about. What happened at Travis's house is just a prelude to what leads us here for this trial today. Now, at some point in time during, I guess, the early morning hours of July the 4th is when the other vehicle shows up. And you'll hear a lot of talk about a red truck. The red truck is actually the one Brandy Cooper was in when she was dropped off to meet Curtis, who then took her to Travis's house. The red truck showed back up at Travis's house with William Miles, Michael Forrester, Jacob Orten, and Kendra Lee. Now, what happened at that home, you'll probably hear as many versions about it as you will people that were there. Because just as if you and I all watched the same car collision, we would all have different angles and different aspects of that story that would stick out in our mind. So keep in mind that the information that you will receive about what happened at Travis's home on the morning of July 4th may be different when it comes from different people. But ultimately, what we do know is that there was some kind of altercation between at least 2 of the individuals and Mr. Orten. There were some things taken from his home and placed into the red truck. And at some point, Mr. Orten ran out of his home, ran next door and talked to his neighbor, Mr. Morris, who you will also hear from. And Mr. Morris, even though the individuals at Travis's house, I don't believe any have said that they saw him bleeding or saw any injuries on him, the neighbor certainly did. So we do know that when he got next door to his neighbor's house, he had blood on him and appeared to have a head injury of some sort. And it was at that time that even the neighbor says he heard the individuals outside near the truck saying something to the effect of, "You're killing my baby." And there may be different versions of that statement that will be presented to you all as well. But at that point in time, the red truck and all 4 occupants of it pulled out and left Travis Orten's residence. That's when things changed. And at that particular moment in time, as scared or as hurt as Travis may have been, he was doing what he needed to do, to contact a neighbor, to have them contact the police. And we would not be here today if he had stayed at his home that night. We wouldn't be here. But unfortunately, that's when Travis decided to take matters into his own hands.